didn't mean to end up here. My pulse thudded in my ears as I stumbled into the unfamiliar neighborhood, each breath ragged and sharp. The dim streetlights barely cut through the darkness, leaving pools of shadow that seemed to reach out for me. My footsteps echoed, uneven and frantic against the pavement. And then I heard it. A low growl, followed by the unmistakable sound of claws scraping against concrete. I whipped my head around, and my stomach sank. A pack of dogs, feral, snarling, eyes glinting like fire in the dark, was closing in. My throat tightened, and panic clawed at my chest. I didn't think. I just ran. Each step felt heavier, my legs burning as adrenaline coursed through me. The snarls grew louder, echoing through the still night air. I didn't know where I was going. Every street looked the same. Every turn brought more darkness. It was like the neighborhood itself was a maze, designed to trap me. Then I saw it, a hulking shadow in the distance. As I got closer, the outline of an abandoned house took shape. Its windows shattered, its roof sagging. The place looked like it had been forgotten by time, swallowed by decay. But it was shelter, and I had no other choice. I sprinted toward it, my lungs screaming for air. My hand hit the splintered door, and I threw my weight against it, tumbling inside. The door slammed shut behind me with a deafening bang, and I leaned against it, gasping. My entire body trembled, every muscle taut. Outside, the growls didn't fade. They became muffled but persistent, circling the house like predators circling prey. I closed my eyes for a moment, trying to collect myself, but something was wrong. I felt it immediately, a presence, a shift in the air. I flicked on my flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness, but instead of comfort, it only revealed more unease. The walls were covered in peeling wallpaper, and the floor was littered with debris, broken furniture, shattered glass, crumpled papers. The house smelled of damp wood and rot, and the air was thick, almost suffocating. The growls outside were nothing compared to the silence inside. It wasn't the silence of emptiness. It was heavy, oppressive, as though the house itself was listening, watching. I moved further in, every creak of the floorboards making me flinch. Shadows danced at the edge of the flashlight's reach, and for a moment, I thought I saw movement. My heart skipped a beat. "It's just your imagination," I whispered to myself, though the words felt hollow. Then I saw them, photographs scattered across a broken table. My flashlight lingered on the faces, frozen in black and white smiles that didn't quite reach their eyes. There was something off about them, something I couldn't put my finger on, and then it hit me. The expressions. They weren't smiles, they were grimaces. A shiver ran down my spine. What happened here? A sudden sound, barely a whisper, drifted through the air. My flashlight jerked toward the hallway, but there was nothing there. The sound came again, soft and fleeting, like a voice just out of reach. I swallowed hard and took a step back, bumping into the wall. The walls felt warm, almost like they were breathing. The door rattled behind me, and I froze. The dogs, they hadn't left. Their patience was running out, and the sound of their claws scratching at the wood sent fresh waves of fear through me. But as much as I dreaded them, the thought of leaving this house felt worse. I moved deeper inside, searching for a place to hide. The flashlight's beam flickered, and I cursed under my breath. "Not now," I muttered, shaking it. The light steadied, but the whispers grew louder. This time, they weren't fleeting. They were deliberate, guttural, like words being spoken in a language I couldn't understand. A door creaked somewhere upstairs. My chest tightened. Was it the wind? The house settling? Or someone? I forced myself forward, step by step, until I reached a staircase. The steps groaned under my weight, each sound reverberating through the house like a scream. At the top of the stairs, the hallway stretched out before me, lined with doors. Most were closed, but one at the far end was ajar, revealing only darkness beyond. I didn't want to go further, but staying still felt just as dangerous. I crept toward the open door, the flashlight trembling in my hand. My breath hitched as I stepped inside. The room was empty, save for a single rocking chair in the corner facing the window. It swayed gently, though there was no breeze. My flashlight caught the edge of something carved into the walls. Symbols, crude and jagged, overlapping like scars. And then I felt it. A presence, cold and suffocating, pressing down on me. My flashlight flickered again, and the whispers became a cacophony, filling the room with a sound that made my skin crawl. I backed out of the room, my heart hammering against my ribs. The dogs outside howled, their cries almost drowned out by the noise in my head. I turned and ran, stumbling down the stairs. The house seemed to close in around me, the walls narrowing, the shadows deepening. I reached the front door, my hand fumbling for the latch. The growls outside were louder now, and the door rattled as the dogs clawed at it. But I couldn't stay. Whatever was in this house was worse than anything waiting for me outside. I threw the door open and ran into the night, the snarls of the dogs and the whispers of the house chasing me into the darkness.